What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're talking about YellowJackets episode 5 titled Blood Hive. Like always, I'm not going to talk about the episode in chronological order, but discuss every single topic in the episode from start to finish. So for this one, I'll start out in the woods. Since there wasn't too many wood stuff, we're more into the present time with this episode. So we'll go with the woods first, and then we'll go into all the other ones. So before we go into it, please make sure you like this video. If you guys haven't been enjoying it, please make sure to subscribe if you're new. But let's get into YellowJackets episode 5. So the main things to take away from the woods is that Jackie's popularity is starting to go down with these girls. She's not pulling her weight around the camp, around the cabin, and the girls are starting to notice it. So she decides to do a seance in the attic because everyone's still scared of the attic room. So she wants everyone to face their fears. So they go up to do the seance thing. It's like this supernatural, like ritual, almost like a Ouija board sort of style supernatural type of thing, right? And so it's innocent enough. They're asking, all these innocent questions like, would we have won the regionals? Misty's like, does my crush actually like me? It doesn't start getting weird until Javi asks the ghost, are we going to survive out here? Will we die out here in the woods? And so it starts getting weird because Lottie just starts acting all possessed. She starts speaking French in like this different tone of voice. She's starting to act absolutely insane. She bashes her head off the window. She starts spewing these words about how everyone must spill their blood or something bad's going to happen. And, this is most likely happening because she ran out of her medication. That's probably why this is happening, not really an actual supernatural element to the show. It could go supernatural, but I think it's the medication in effect here. And so she doesn't snap out of it until Laura Lee comes up, and she's going all exorcist style. She's saying, she has the Bible in her hand. She's like, may the Christ compel you, may the Christ compel you. And it doesn't work until she actually throws the book at Lottie, and that's what snaps her out of it. So I could say my own theories about what I think happened here. And like I said, I don't think it's a supernatural thing, but do you guys think it's supernatural? Or do you think it's just Lottie, acting all weird because without her medication? They did put the candles like on the symbol in the attic, and this is the same place where they found the dead body. So it could be an actual supernatural element. My personal theory is that it is just Lottie acting weird without her medication. But let me know down below. You guys think it's supernatural, or do you think it's just Lottie? And so other big takeaways in the woods besides this is that there are some relationships starting to form, some romantic relationships. We do see Nat and Travis start to get closer, and they actually do share a kiss. We also see that Thaisa and Vaughn are actually doing a little couple thing together, and they share a kiss as well. But the real juicy relationship comes down to Coach Ben and Misty. Misty is honestly out of her mind. One thing she does is she poisoned Coach Ben's tea so that, he remains unhealthy, so that Misty has to take care of him, right? And so she poisons his tea. Coach Ben, I think, knows that Misty did this, and Misty sort of like confesses her love to Coach Ben towards the end. And Coach Ben, he sort of says that he feels the same way, but because Misty's a minor, he would never forgive himself for going through with it, even though he may want to do that. I think that's all BS on Coach Ben's part. I don't think he actually shares any sort of feelings towards Misty. I just think that's him trying to survive. I think if he told Misty that I don't like you, who knows how Misty would react? Maybe she'd kill Coach Ben. Who knows? So I think he's scared, and I think he's just saying that so Misty doesn't get upset. And so now back to Misty in present day now. She's still funny when she's older too. I love that quick little scene where she's at work and she's with a patient. It's on Halloween day. Some trick-or-treaters come in, and the show just has some really good dark humor to where she'll turn off the power for this patient where like she's pretty much like confirmed, not confirmed dead. I don't know like the nurse terms, the doctor terms or whatever, but turns off the machine, and the kids think that the patient's dead, and so they run away, and then she just clicks it back on. Like, it's such a dangerous thing to do, but like Misty's just like super weird like that. I thought that was a good little scene. Good on Christina Ricci for playing that character as well. She's a great actress in this. And so along with Misty, we have Nat as well in present day. So Nat learns from Kevin, the police detective that she went on a date with last episode. She learns that Travis didn't have any alcohol or drugs in his system, so he didn't overdose. He wasn't loaded like how we thought, like that maybe he was last episode, right? So it's confirmed that he wasn't on drugs. And so Nat calls Misty to get in touch with someone who was able to hack emails for them. And so they go to this dinner with this guy, Stallion99, I think is his name, his email name or whatever. And they're able to get the police file for Travis's death. So they're able to see some pretty graphic images of Travis's death now. And so the most important thing with these pictures is that there's like candle wax smudges on these pictures, right? And when you connect those smudges, it creates the symbol. And so Nat doesn't believe that Travis is the one that made those candle markings or whatever, right? So I think the smudges were on the ground, right? Were they on the pictures or were they on the ground? I think the candle smudges were on the ground. Whatever. So she doesn't think that Travis did those markings because he didn't believe in that stuff. That's what she says. I don't know what that stuff means. That's why the supernatural element could actually be real, because Nat says that Travis didn't believe in that stuff, and maybe like that either means like a supernatural thing with the symbol, or if it's that occult thing that we haven't seen yet that's been hinted about in previous episodes. You know, it could go either way with the supernatural stuff, but she says that Travis didn't believe in that stuff, so take that as you will. Another important thing to take away here is, especially with Misty, she's very suspicious here. You know, she notices that the marks make out the symbol very quickly. I honestly think I'm going to stick with the theory now that I do think it's Misty behind all this. I really do. I don't think it's going to be like too complicated. Like, it could be Jackie's still alive and she's the one sending the postcards. We get a text message that says something along the lines. I don't really remember what it said, the message, but it was something like, I'm going to tell your secrets. You know, it was like a threatening message. I could see Misty being the one that sent the message. And now that she also has a camera, she hid a camera in Nat's room and she's able to see what Taissa and Nat were saying. And Nat sort of badmouths her in a way, and Misty's able to hear that now, so that's probably going to come into fruition, like some sort of budding thing later on. But I do think it's Misty behind it all. I think she just wants to keep this game going. I think she misses what happened in the woods. I think she misses that alpha feel that she had of knowing how to survive. And she just wants to keep this going. I don't know. It's honestly just theories up to this point. So if you guys have any theories or if you're on board with me, I think I'm going to stick with the Misty thing, though. I do think it's her behind all this. What's exciting, though, is that hopefully next episode we'll actually see all these characters in present day actually meet up, as we see Taissa plans on calling Shauna to meet up, and now Misty's watching them already. So we'll probably get a scene next episode where we have Taissa, Shauna, Nat, and Misty all in the same scene together. And while we're talking about Shauna, what happened to her in this episode was that she spends more time with Adam. She tells Jeff she's going to a book club, even though she is spending time with Adam. They go to a club. While at the club, Shauna does see a quick vision of Jackie, another apparition of Jackie. She follows it. It leads her to her daughter, actually, who's wearing Jackie's old YellowJackets jacket, and for a Halloween costume. And so, like, she's high on Molly. The daughter, Shauna leaves Adam behind, and they have like a nice little conversation. Shauna and her daughter. Even though the daughter is like high right now, she's able to show sympathy for the mom, what she's been through. It doesn't really matter because the next morning, Shauna's daughter, I forget her name, she blackmails Shauna with this information of Adam. And she's like, I'm not going to have any more curfews. I'm going to be able to stay out for as long as I want, blah, blah, blah. Or else I'm going to tell Dad about Adam. And then that doesn't last long either because Shauna just gives it to her straight. And she just maps it out for her. She's like, if you do this, we're not going to have any money for your college because we're going to be spending it all on divorce. You're going to have to go live with your dad. Your dad's going to date girls that are the same age as you. And that just all goes down the drain. She has no more leverage now. And I was disappointed by this. I was like, I thought it would be a good element to have the daughter like have that over Shauna's head and use that. Maybe that'd be like a ongoing dynamic throughout the series, which it still could be. But I think now that the daughter knows that even if she tells Jeff, her father, it's not good for her either. So why would she do that? So I don't think this is as important as I thought it would be. And then now with Taissa's story in present day, she's dealing with some more political stuff. We see that she hallucinates again. She sees another wolf, which we saw in last episode at the dinner scene. She hallucinates a lot. And it leads her to her door where she sees written in like blood red paint, it says the word spill, which probably means for her like spill what actually happened in the woods. And so she obviously thinks that this is her political opponent that did this. Simone actually advises her to use that information that they have about the political opponent's daughter. Remember we learned that the daughter went to rehab and now Taissa had that information to blackmail him. One day if she wanted to, she threatened the opponent with that information. And so Simone advises her to maybe go do that route. And so then while Taissa is sort of thinking about that, she finds the same blood red paint under her son's bed, Sammy's bed. So Sammy pretty much denies this. He says that it was the woman in the tree who wrote the word spill and put the paint can under his bed, that it wasn't actually him. We could talk about theories for this. Like, who do you guys think the woman is? I have two theories. I think it could maybe be Taissa and she doesn't really know it. As we know, like, she hallucinates. Who knows what else she could be doing? She could maybe be doing stuff and she doesn't even know it yet. Even though we haven't really got hints at that. I think it could also be Misty. If Misty's behind this all, She could easily be the person in the woods as well, and she could be behind everything. Or it could be someone we don't know yet. Like I said, it could be Jackie, who we still haven't seen in present day. We presume she's dead, but who knows? Any theories you guys got? You think it's Misty, Taissa, or someone else? Let me know. And so Taissa knows that Sammy's like messed up right now, and she should probably be spending more time with Sammy and what he's going through. So she ponders actually dropping out of the race. And so Taissa decides to hold a press conference where she plans to drop out of the race and endorse her opponent. When the time comes to actually say the words at the press conference, seeing the crowd, and she also sees the man with no eyes again, with the long black hair, which is the same image that her grandmother saw. Some more ongoing weird stuff that I'm not sure how he connects, or the man with no eyes connects to everything. But by seeing him, she decides that she's not going to drop out of the race, and she actually uses the spill word on her door to her advantage to create sympathy for her, blaming her opponent for doing that, and saying that we'll create like a better New Jersey. And then I think after that, I think we've covered pretty much everything this episode now that I think is important. So my rating overall for this episode is a 2.7 out of 5. I think honestly, for most of the episode, I wasn't liking it. Not that I wasn't liking it. I just thought it was fine. I thought it was kind of moving a little bit slow. The stuff in the woods wasn't anything that I thought was anything interesting, or like nothing new. I thought we were kind of going in circles with stuff in the woods. That was up until the last 20 minutes or so. Once they actually do the sauna thing in the attic with the supernatural stuff, with Lottie and the whole exorcism stuff, that's when it became interesting. Everything with Thais and the political stuff, like seeing the word spill and the hallucinations, I thought that was more of the same. I thought there was nothing too crazy there until even towards the end, where she decides to not drop out of the race. I didn't think that was too interesting up until the very last scene with her and Nat. I thought that was interesting, and then Misty looking in, I thought that was good as well. Everything else with Nat in present day, like going to Stallion 99 for the email hacks, I didn't think it was anything too crazy. And then the stuff with Shauna and her daughter and Adam in the club, I thought that was a waste. I thought Shauna was so good in the beginning. I think she is still such a great character. But I forgot to talk about that one thing. Okay, I'll go back to it. And present day Shauna, yeah, the stuff with Adam doesn't do much for me. The stuff with the daughter, like sometimes it was good. I guess some more good character growth for both those characters. But honestly, like I said at the end, it doesn't go anywhere. Like she's not going to blackmail her anymore because she knows how it's going to go. So that was a waste. But what I want to circle back to is that I forgot that Shauna, that whole period thing, right, in the woods. A girl should be reviewing the show. If there's a girl reviewer out there for the show, please go watch it, because I feel like this is a girl should be reviewing this show. But I don't feel like going into whole explanations of how like a period works or whatever, but like how she doesn't have her period, right? And so she's talking to Jackie about it, and Jackie is like, "Oh, you're a virgin, so it's good that you don't have your period yet." Or it's the other way around. Like, I don't know exactly like the whole thing around periods, right? Because I'm a guy. But bottom line is that Sean is pregnant in the past, in the woods, right? Probably with Jeff's kid, but it's not the daughter that we've seen in present day, because that doesn't line up with, right? Does that line up with the ages? How old is Sean in the show? No, that can't line up, right? So does she lose the baby in the woods? But like what she does, there's a couple things that she does. She like fakes the period to show Jackie that she did have her period, even though she didn't. So Jackie now thinks that she did have her period. Shauna obviously is not a virgin by her facial expression when Jackie does bring up being a virgin, and this is probably because she did it with Jeff and she doesn't want to say anything. So I think that's very important. I just want to bring that up. I just don't know how to go about talking about periods and this stuff. So that whole pregnancy thing I thought was good too. But overall, I thought honestly the first like 40 minutes of this episode, I didn't care like that much. Like I said, like everything with Nat and Misty going with the email guy, I didn't think that was that good. The stuff with the woods, seeing like Nat and Travis like kiss and shooting and hunting, that felt more the same. It wasn't up until they go to the attic in the woods did it get good. Taissa, all of her political stuff, I still didn't care for it even here, even at the end. And then Shauna's stuff, I thought she was wasted with Adam again. So this episode felt more like last episode. I gave last episode 2.7 out of 5 too. I don't think those two episodes, these 5 and 4, are in the same tier as 1, 2, and 3. I think 1, 2, and 3 were a lot better setup. And I think, I don't want to rush the series. I don't want to say anything, but I want to get to the weird cult stuff already in the woods, or at least get hints for it. We haven't really got hints of like how these girls that are so innocent right now, they're still super innocent in episode 5, get to where they are with that cult stuff that we saw in the first episode, right? How do these girls get there? I still don't even see a path yet for them to realistically getting there without some sort of time jump where it's like, it's like a month later and then all of a sudden they're doing it, which I don't want that. I want to gradually see them turn into like monsters. And they're still like super innocent now besides Misty, right? But Misty's more like sabotage, still sort of innocent, right? These girls aren't really going crazy yet, except for Lottie. But Lottie's just off her meds, I think. And this episode introduced a bunch of supernatural stuff, which I thought was interesting for the show, but I do think it's a lot of BS. I don't think we're going to go supernatural route. But let me know what you guys thought of the episode. Did you guys enjoy it a lot? Do you think it's better than last episode and the other episodes? Or do you sort of agree with me and think that it was fine? I thought it was fine. I wouldn't call it good, but I do want to start picking up. I want them to use Shauna better, and I think they will now. Now that we see Shauna and Nat and Taissa planning to meet up, and with Misty maybe behind it all, it could lead to some really cool stuff, but I want to get away from what these 2 episodes were. No more going around in circles in the woods. Let's actually see them turn into what they're supposed to become, which is like these monsters or whatever that we've seen in the previews. And then let's move the plot forward more in present day. We didn't really learn too much besides in the last 5 minutes with the connecting symbol. Everything else, what we learned, Travis wasn't on drugs. Like, I want to learn more. And Taissa, I don't care about her political stuff still. So let me know what you guys thought of it down below. Please make sure you like this video, guys. I'm enjoying it. Please make sure to subscribe if you're new. And I will see you on the next video. Have a great rest of the day.